What's up everybody, my name is Jarod and I'm an engineering student at Chico State University. I'm going in for mechatronic engineering, and what I wanted to do today was talk about the projects that I've done over the past few semesters as a third year in college and second year in the program. So I switched into the program after my first year, so this will be my I'll be going into my third year in the mechatronics program. So without further ado, let me go ahead and talk about these projects, and here we go. So what types of projects have I done over the past couple of semesters? Well, one of the classes that I remember quite vividly was my Mech 140 class. At the beginning of the semester, we were given a list of parameters and an objective to accomplish by the end of the semester. And this objective was to be able to create a autonomous machine that could decorate a jar with I believe it was like an 8x8 piece of paper and a rubber band. So the 8x8 piece of paper had to wrap around the lid, and then a rubber band had to go around the piece of paper to secure it to the lid. So this was a semester-long project. I worked on it with a group of people. It was a group of 3, and our main objective and kind of workflow was brainstorming, prototyping, programming, and then testing it, and testing and making revisions when necessary. Especially at the end of the semester, this was where we kind of fine-tuned everything, and the result was a pretty neat little machine that could work on its own to decorate jars. The second project that I remember is from my sustainable manufacturing class. It was SMFG 160. And in this class, the lab project that we were in charge of was making a hoist winch, and we had to start from basically scratch in order to make this hoist winch. So we had to mill the pawls out, we had to drill the handles, bend the handles, use a lathe to create little spacers and stuff like that. And that was a semester-long project, kind of like my Mech 140 class. But it gave us a great introduction to using machinery in a machine shop, and at the end of it, we had a hoist winch to show. Even though this was given to us over the entire semester, it still took quite a bit of time to do. So this was probably one of the cooler projects that I've been able to come away with at Chico State, because I have a physical hoist winch that I basically created from given materials. Alright, so I forgot about one of my classes. It is a 3D modeling and CAD design class where we use a software called SolidWorks, and we use SolidWorks to design real-world items or things that we might want to create in the real world. One of my projects was to reverse engineer something in the real world. And my first reverse engineer project, I chose to reverse engineer my electric scooter handle, and I did that with just a pair of calipers and a ruler. So that was one of my reverse engineering projects. Another one of my reverse engineering projects, it was my midterm project, was to reverse engineer something that could fit in a plastic bag. And I decided to do a pocket knife. And even though you might not think that this pocket knife was, that it might be simple to reverse design it or to make that in SolidWorks, that thing was a crap ton of work. I'll go ahead and show it, but this thing took me like 15-20 hours to do, mainly because the drawings killed me. There was a lot of GD&T, or geometric dimensioning and tolerancing, that went into the drawings, and that probably took the longest because I didn't know how to do that stuff at all. And then lastly, for the same type of class, or for the same class, we designed something for our final project. So I'm a huge anime fan, and one of the animes that I watched, Attack on Titans, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen this one. I designed the gear that they use to the propulsion gear that they use to fly around and attack the Titans. So I spent probably like 2 weeks designing and modeling of thinking of a design for my final project. And we were supposed to animate it and give it a um, like a good appearances, graphics, and all that fun stuff. So it was a quick little 15-second, I think it was like 15-second animation that I did for the class. But yeah, those SolidWorks projects took up a lot of my time, but I think it all paid off in the end, because right now it's a very useful software for me to be able to use, especially when I want to do prototyping for little side projects that I have at home and such and stuff like that. And actually, I forgot about a couple of projects. So one of the projects was a PCB board layout, to where we had to organize components on a PCB board on, I believe we used Autodesk Eagle, and we had to turn that in for our final project. That one didn't take too long. It was surprisingly straightforward. I thought it was going to be a little bit harder, but once I sat down and really looked at it, it wasn't that bad. And then the other project that I had to do was for my computer science class, where we code in C++, and that one took a lot out of me. What we had to program was a jousting tournament. So we had to program knights, and it was a random chance that when they were jousting, they would get knocked off, and there'd be different weapons that had higher chances of knocking them off. And we had to program a little game. That was pretty fun, but it was also very hard to do, because that was my first semester ever being exposed to code, and yeah, it was pretty rough. But I got some help from some friends, and I'm really glad that they were able to help me, because if they didn't help me, I probably would have failed that project. But anyways, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, these are several projects that I've done over the past couple of years as a mechatronics student at Chico State University. Probably there'll be a bunch more coming up in the future, because I will be going into my end of the year, or I guess senior projects, my capstone projects. So there'll be a lot to update there. And hopefully I'll be able to cover some other topics as well. Well, not hopefully, but I plan on covering other topics as well. So stay tuned for that. But thank you for watching. I'll see you all sometime later.